Ja, hello and welcome back to ConWorxx III, Spielworxx friendly, cozy online gaming convention. My name is Uli Blennemann and I'm having a guest. This is Ben Maddox, live from Berlin. And actually not, of course, this is a wonderful order. As I mentioned earlier today, Ben couldn't make it, had a private very important emergency thing, but he's well, so no worries over there. But Ode, of course, is a wonderful replacement and more than a replacement here. We will talk in the next couple of minutes about the gaming year 2022 from our perspective. And you may know I'm not playing that many games from other publishers during a year, so I'm always listening very careful what other people, other gamers recommend. And we will also talk about the new game company that is The Game Builders and about their first release. But Ode, I hope you are all right, and let's talk about some games.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me. And I will not try to impersonate Ben because it's impossible. And I also cannot sing like he can because he has a beautiful voice. And we know this from several meetings. So this is nothing I can do. And I'm just trying to not to be him. So it's not possible.
It's not possible. Although it's the first time I think that somebody mentioned that Ben has a beautiful voice. So yeah, and hello Hans and hello Karthik. Good seeing you back here. And Karthik is already saying definitely picking up Applejack. Played a prototype in March. So yeah, there you go, Ode. I'm not forgetting your second question here, Karthik, but I will get back to that in a couple of minutes. And Karthik is saying Uli has the best singing voice. Yeah, probably Karthik had to endure that at Laria at least already. So, well, yeah, best singing voice. I do not know. But Ode, which games were really memorable of this year? What comes to mind?
First, let me just show you what Uli had gifted to me a couple of months ago. It's a beverage called Ode. And as a funny thing and a funny joke, I wanted to try this while we talk here on ConWorxx III. And it's Ode to enjoy. So this is some kind of aperitif or something. I don't know what's the right word is for this, and I will give it a try now because I think this is the perfect moment to have some kind of.
And I hope you stay with us because I think that the bottle with that name is beautiful, and it's a lemon thing.
Yes.
That's why the yellow is there, but I have no clue what the taste will be.
And it also looks like a gaming component. It looks like a couple of old times. So
yeah.
It's brilliant. It actually looks not very promising, I have to say. Yeah, but it has lemon flavors in it, and it says on the bottle that it has also blossom flavors from the Mediterranean. So it's maybe something that you drink on Mallorca. I don't know.
I'm not sure. You're brave. You're really brave.
It's not that bad. It's very, very lemon, yes. it actually says on here on the bottle, you can enjoy it as a spritz. You put it in Prosecco, and this would maybe a situation where Prosecco actually tastes well if it's added by Ode.
That is a great idea. Maybe I have to look into this one too. But I'm glad that you survived. You're a brave person here to actually try this. But still, games from this year. Any good games?
From this year, yes. Of course. So should I say go from top to bottom?
No, whatever. I don't care.
Let's just mention the first thing. Of course, I have to mention it, and Uli, I know we both have different opinions on this, but I think this is a brilliant one. Let me just show you this. I have it prepared here. It's Ark Nova. And for me, this is a stellar game. I did not expect this. My friend Uwe mentioned this to me before the fair, and he said I should definitely look into it. And he was right. This is a brilliant game, and of course, also the theme is very cool for us because we love animals, and this game is all about making or building up your personal zoo. You have to puzzle a little bit here on your zoo plan because you need areas where you can put the animals in, and it's basically a card game, a very well, it's actually not that complex because the
it isn't. I agree.
It's very very neat and very simple and clear, and it's no problem to understand the game. But there is complexity in the cards, and it has tons of cards, animal cards, special effect cards. They are called sponsor cards in the game. It has victory point cards, so it's a very complex card game, driven by a very neat and elegant main mechanism. And
what is the main mechanism? Why is it so great? Why, in your opinion?
You have actually 5 different actions in the game, and that's basically it.
Yeah.
And you have a player board in front of you, and the player board has 5 slots. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the action cards are in the slots. So if you want to take an action that is in the slot number 3, you can perform the action with a strength of 3.
Yeah.
Or another action with a strength of 5, and so on. And then you perform the action, and you take the card, and you put it in the slot number 1, and all the other cards slide it in a more valuable position. So this is a very, very interesting mechanism where you have to manage your action cards into a position that is most valuable for you, and it sometimes interferes with what you actually want to do, and that's basically what has very interesting decisions for you to make in the game. And what's also brilliant in the game is that it has so many elements with different effects, and you can play so many strategies in this game. We played it over 100 times by now, and it's really the game for me. For this, it was published last year in Essen.
But still, this year it was already hyped at that time. But still, I think everybody, or a lot of people, a lot of gamers, true hardcore gamers, have played it during this year. And so I'd say it's a game from 2022, and it gets love from the audience here as well, from Hans and Karthik. They love the game, think it is great. Yeah, so in my opinion, and I can understand why it is so popular, this game. In my opinion, it has all the ingredients for a great game, and it won the Deutscher Spielepreis. So it also tells you that it's very popular. But I think the theme is wonderful, the animal cards, very pleasant. There, I think the complexity is really not that high, as you already said, but it has a wonderful depth of it. Still, I must say I don't like it that much. I think the action selection, that mechanism, from our good friend Carsten, he gave me his copy to try the game, and I played it, and the action selection is simply brilliant. But playing it, I thought, well, I've seen this before, and I've even seen this in a better way. But at that time, I couldn't remember from which game this mechanism came, and all the rest left me pretty cold. Yes, it's a ton of cards, in my opinion, a little bit too many, but these are minor items. But I think actually in Civilization New Dawn, this action selection mechanism, which is pretty similar, is even better because you can do more in the game. But what do I know? You should never take your own opinion on a game higher than, or value that higher than others. So, and I really see why this game is so popular. So I think great choice here, Ode, for Ark Nova, and the game deserves, and the designer and everybody involved at Feuerland, they all deserve this success. Yeah. Anything else?
Actually,
Yeah.
in our last session, we talked about us being first-time designers with La Granja. Actually, the designer of this game is also a first-timer, and I can just say it's also
amazing.
Brilliant. Of course, he had help with the brilliant editing team from Feuerland, and they actually know what they are doing. I know them personally, and they are brilliant minds.
Exactly.
And but you have to say, this is for a first timer, it's brilliant, and I'm also already a fan and looking forward to getting new zoo plans on Spiel.
Yeah, because Feuerland, if you do not know, has additional stuff for the game. So if you are a fan of Arche Nova, you have to visit the booth. And in the US, English language countries, Capstone Games is distributing the game, so you can pick up the stuff from Capstone Games. And if you are a fan, you have to do this. And Marcus is also saying Arche Nova is brilliant, but yeah, he is having also a good remark. He hasn't played the game so often as Ode, who said more than 100 times, my command is get a life, Ode, get a life. No. What else? What other interesting games would you like to mention?
The next one I wanted to mention is also very brilliant, but it has the most hideous cover of all times. I have to say this. And I'm saying with all due respect to the artist, I know it's my personal opinion, but I cannot understand how this gets published. But what do I know? So many people love it, but it's Golem.
Yeah, Golem
is... This cover is incredible. How this could be successful is out of my mind. I cannot do it. But actually the game, when you open the box, is fucking beautiful, actually. But the cover, I don't like it.
Ode, here we are here at the Dice Tower. You can't use any swear words. You can't use any swear words. No, of course you can. Okay, so yeah, cover, I'd say, yeah, really interesting, to put it very positively. But why is Golem great?
Well, Golem is by designers Virginio Gigli, Flaminia Brazzini, I'm butchering in Italian language, and Simone Luciani. Brilliant designers. I love them very much. I followed their career from the first game on, and their Italian collective, you might say. First, they went from under the name Akitoka before, and they published games like Egizia, what comes Lorenzo il Magnifico, and so on. And this is also a game of, it's a very Euro-type game. The theme is actually that you build golems in the city of Prague. And so what's so brilliant about the game? You know, for me, I'm a Euro-type game guy, and I speak from the mechanical side of things. It has a very interesting design because the game is actually only about 3 different elements, and you can, it's four different elements, and you can use those 4 elements to play different strategies. And it's actually some kind of track game. So most Italian games use very many tracks, and this is the track game itself. So many tracks. A brilliant card mechanism as well. And yes, it's a game that offers so many strategic approaches that it's really cool. And it has a little neat feature. So it has actually a what's that?
That's a cat, I think. No,
it's a fly. No. It has a what's it called in English, a marble mechanism.
Mm-hmm.
So you roll some marbles into some lines, and depending on the color of the marbles, you can perform your actions. So I think it has 6 different actions. I don't know. It has been a little time that I played it. And depending on where the marbles stopped, you can perform the action in a certain value. Not unlike Arche Nova.
Yeah.
So the more more marbles you have, the more powerful the action is. And also the color of the marble that you actually choose for your action has a meaning. And it's a very interesting and unique, I have to say, mechanism. And well, the game is quite complex, but also elegantly designed in the strategic approaches that you can do, because it actually has only 4 different elements, and you can weigh on one element or 2 elements, and you can every time you can choose, now I do this and this, and next time I do this and this. So it's very interesting. Yes.
Yeah, it has actually a nice, with the marbles, a nice table presence, in my opinion, too. And Hans, what was interesting, basically simultaneously, when you were mentioning the marble mechanism, Hans was writing the same thing, but I love the marbles mechanism. So I heard you saying this and saw the text from him, so very good. And he's confirming that, according to him, Golem is also great. I have to say, I haven't played it, I just saw it, and it looked interesting. So, but we can mention this, of course, we should mention this. Who's the publisher of the game?
Oh, it's this edition of mine is the English edition, so it's Granja Creations, it's an Italian publishing company.
Yes.
I actually don't know who published it in Germany.
Is there a German edition of this game? Is there a German edition of that game? So if people know this, just let us know. Here, entertain us not only, but we want to learn something. So yeah, Golem.
Yeah, it's an English edition by Granja Creations, and I bought it on the fair first when it came out, and I think there is a German edition somewhere now.
Should be these days. Yeah, these days there should be a German edition. So a third game, maybe?
Yes, I have a third one, and this is actually fucking brilliant as well. You said I could swear, right?
It's not the Dice Tower. Yeah, I've heard about it. Haven't played this one too. Well, let me know more about the game.
Yes, it's actually also theme-wise, it's a Euro game. This is just a theme, so but the mechanisms are incredible. And let me just check if I can show you the player board, because it has a very neat mechanism. So the player boards are actually quite thick, as you can see here.
Yeah.
And it's a multi-layer board, and the interesting thing is that you have some slots here. And then you have a number of things.
And you can slide them in? Wow.
You can slide them in. Whoop.
Nice.
And, one part of the game is to slide them out again, and then you get something like it's a research action, and you can develop your company into more interesting things. And this is actually, so you have multiple of these things here, and this is brilliantly done by the publisher actually.
Yeah.
So it's working perfectly. So you can at the beginning of the game they are all put in, and you can have a certain action that allows you to pull them out and get more income and stuff like that, and that's brilliantly done. And the other thing in this game is that you have some kind of meeple management. So your personal player board, I'll show it again, is actually your company, and you have some offices here in your company, and you place meeples on them, and they all start at this lobby here, and you have to distribute them to your board. And you can see those offices are not filled. You can get more offices to use your workers here. And there's a very interesting way to distribute your workers over the board and to use your actions in an efficient way. The problem is you have to send them to the main board sometimes, and then they are out of office, of course, and work for you on the main board, and you have to manage them as well, because you need more workers in your company, and you have to get new workers, and sometimes they even get back, and then you have to send others to the board and so on. Very interesting Very interesting game with brilliant mechanics. And the thing about this game, what fascinates me the most, is the different offices that you can get. So every office is different, has a different special ability, and there's 16 of them in the base game. And I have actually been lucky enough to get the deluxe edition, and this has another 16 different offices. So there's 32 different offices, and the fun thing in this game is to combine all the different offices into your strategy, and that's a lot of fun because you already know I love this kind of individualizing my play. So I want to feel special because I have a different office than you have, and I can use this strategy because I got this office, and this is only for me. And so my play is completely different from your play because you have different abilities than I have, and we both try to use them in a most efficient way. Don't let you blind yourself because the theme is actually not pretty strong, but it's beautiful art by Ian O'Toole, of course.
Yeah.
And the designer is Javier Georges. I don't know. It's a French guy, I think, or Belgian. I don't know. He's very also he did very good games before, like Palais Royal.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of the guys behind Troy, which is one of the.
Who's the publisher? Who's the publisher, Ode?
Original publisher is a Dutch company, Quint Games.
Yeah.
And I think in Germany the retail edition is by Pegasus.
Okay, and when first hello Uftata in the chat, and we have some comments here. Hans is saying Uftata, exactly, nice name here, a nice ID. Carnegie is also not unique, but all the mechanisms together makes it a very decent Euro game. And Stefan is saying, in first place, it is very difficult to predict what your options will be in your next turns because the other players decide about the action. But it is brilliant, so confirmation for you when you play it more. Workers, Stefan says, seem to be never in the right place, but you have to send them there. Yeah, one concern here I'm seeing, and you mentioned this as well. So Hans and you, has anyone seen Hans and Ode in the same room? So maybe it's the same person, because Hans is saying the Kickstarter version, you mentioned deluxe version, is much better because there are more departments to choose from. Is this a concern that the retail version doesn't have enough, or how would you say so? Or have you all only played the deluxe version?
No, I actually played the retail version once, but the guy owning the retail version had managed to get a grip of the expansion. So there's actually 4 different expansions in the deluxe edition, and I don't know exactly. You can buy this separately. So if you want to get this somewhere, you have to look through the internet to find this. But it was a selling point, of course, for the deluxe edition of this game. So, and the components are a little bit beautified here in this game. And of course, you have, maybe you already saw it, you have these trays here for all the player components. They are very nice. You can stash all the components in a very nice way. This is also something that the retail edition does not have, but actually, I bought this deluxe edition because I wanted to have the extra offices. Yeah. And actually, I think there's, of the 4 expansion modules, there's actually 2 I would say that are really crucial to the game. The first one being the other set of offices, 16 other offices, making this game so much more interesting. And then there is a set of overlays for the victory points that you get in this game. So Andrew Carnegie was actually famous for being a very successful capitalist, and I think he was the one saying that you lived wrongly if you die as a rich man or something like this. Total nonsense, but the reason for this is that you have to spend all your money you have to donate your money in this game, and for a donation you get a victory point condition, and this is something that you should also do, because it's very important to get these victory point conditions. And the basic game has 4 different types of victory point condition, and you can get overlays in this expansion that you can change these conditions dramatically. And this also changes the feel of the game completely, because you now have to adapt your strategy to these new conditions, which is also very good. But the other 2 modules, I actually say it's not worth it. But yeah.
Is it good with 2 players order?
Very good.
So then maybe I'm interested.
It's a little bit, I think personally, it's a little bit better with 3 or 4 players, because it has a mechanism that you can follow the action that was chosen by the active player. And this gets very interesting with more players. Also, very interactive action selection mechanism. Also very simple actually in this game. So the complexity is not from the rules.
Yeah.
It's from what you play in the game. So so I choose an action and everybody can follow this action. So it's very important to see what the other players can do right now, if they have the right people in the right offices, or even not. So if I say, oh, he cannot follow my action, if I perform this action now, then it would be a good choice. So it gets a little bit better with 3 or 4 players because of the main action selection mechanism.
So, and there was proof that Hans and Ode are not the same person, actually, because Hans is saying, no, it's not good with 2. So, yeah, and hello Daniel, by the way. The Brute from Brooklyn, you are already up, so you're early, you're an early riser, I know this. And Daniel is confirming he has played it at 3, thought it was excellent. Yeah. So, and Ode, thank you for mentioning these 3 games. So, Ark Nova, not my type of game. Actually, I haven't played Golem, looked interesting on the table, and I might look into Carnegie. So,
but Uli, what about you? Did you play something that you want to mention here? Something that was an extraordinary experience for you this year, this gaming year?
Gaming-wise, I haven't played a lot of games that were released this year. I think Dune Imperium, which we played together, was released last year. The expansion was new, so maybe this counts. I thought this was really good, but not outstanding, but really good experience. Some parts cleverly designed, good deck builder. I was pleasantly surprised by Pax Viking. It's not the same league as Pax Pamir for sure. Most played game still from this year was Pax Pamir, so, and I still love that game. But I have to, probably I remember a couple of games later. I played with Carsten actually, but in Germany it's not out, but so it will count. I think it's not out. I played Imperial Steam by Capstone Games, and I liked it a lot. We played a 3-player game. I think the mechanics are quite simple, but decision making is nice. German edition will be out by Frosted Games.
Yes.
I liked that one quite a bit.
I think that will come out. Is it already out? I don't know.
Maybe it's
I
out.
know that Frosted Games will publish it, I know, and they bring a publisher as well.
Yeah, Frosted is a wonderful publisher. Hans seems to like it. Daniel didn't care for it. He says he felt that it was too difficult to get things going. I've played it just once, but it has a strength that I afterwards, and that's why I think it's not out yet, because I pre-ordered it afterwards from Frosted Games, and I still haven't received it. But normally I don't buy, especially not a Euro game after my first play. But I thought that was pretty good. Yeah,
we can mention the designer Alexander Humer.
Yeah, of course we should.
He's a Austrian guy, And he is actually also a hobby designer his first design was Lignum, also published by Capstone Games, and very, very interesting games also. And I played Imperial Steam actually twice so far, and I really love the game. It's brilliant. And that is actually a game where you can really get in trouble because you did not do the right thing. So it's a very cutthroat game.
It's a little bit splotterish, but not that bad. So that you think you are in a dead end. May not be for everybody, but I have to play it more. But Ode, let's move on to something else, because there is a new company. Please tell us a little bit more about the Game Builders.
So the Game Builders is actually a friend of mine who goes by the name Thorsten Hansson, and myself. And Thorsten, we know each other quite a long time. Actually, when I started designing games back in 13 years ago or so, Thorsten and I were already playing our prototypes. So Thorsten had prototypes and we played them, and of course I had my prototypes and we play tested them. So we go back a long time and we do playtesting together all the time. So when Thorsten, he is a journalist here in Germany, and when he had some free time on his hands because some of his contracts went off, he said, what do I do now with my time now? And he asked me, let's do something together maybe. And then we applied for a, what do you tell it? It's a government-funded.
It's a program for new companies, for startups, yes. So that you get some help to get off the ground. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. So, and we thought, okay, this might be a good idea to start something because we wanted to design games and develop games the way we want them to be. And the first thing that we thought of was that we might offer our craftsmanship in board game development to other companies who might have not the editing team to do this. So we could benefit from all the small publishing companies that are very good at selling games, but do not have the manpower to edit the games and develop the games. But in the end, we thought about, well, if this doesn't work out, we need to publish the games ourselves. And we have a good friend who's called Uwe Rosenberg, and he is quite known in the board game business. So he has a habit of helping his friends to start a publishing company. He already did it with Feuerlandspiele, who is one of the Frank behind Feuerland is Uwe's school friend from back in the days, and he did it with Edition Spielwiese, who's a Berlin company.
Michael Schmidt, the wonderful.
Of course, Lookout Games was also co-founded by Uwe with another longtime friend of his, and so he has a habit of helping his friends getting a good head start in the business, and he said, okay, let's do this together, and I give you a game so you could start with your company. And we founded the company this year, and now in Essen we will have our first game, and it's Applejack. It's a tile-laying game by Uwe Rosenberg. It's for 1 to 4 players, so it also has solo rule, and it's actually a family style, maybe family plus style tile-laying game with a very nice theme of apple harvesting. So that's the reason we call it Applejack.
And you see it here at Twitch. You see the box mock-up, and you see it looks really, really nice. So
yes,
this
illustrations are done by Lukas Sigmund, and he's a brilliant illustrator. Yes. Also something that Uwe was able to provide, so he helped us get in contact with Lukas, and so we were lucky enough to have such a brilliant illustrator for our first game. Yes.
Yeah, really, really great start. And for people who would like to check out the game builders and Applejack, of course, you should be at Essen at this booth here. It is 5K104. 5K104, and there's no excuse not to visit Thorsten and Ode at all. If you are at Essen, you have to visit the booth, have to check out the game and purchase the game. So
yes,
it's mandatory.
We are going to publish the game in the German-only first edition, so the box will only be German, but the game is actually language independent, but of course it has the German box and the German rulebook, and but we have a PDF on our website in English. So if you do not mind getting a German game and downloading a English PDF for your for the rulebook, then it would be good. But we wanted to have a box that is only German because we want to go into the German market, of course.
Yeah.
And we are working right now to negotiate with other publishers to localize the game in their respective languages. But this might be a couple of months before this will happen. So
yeah, take your time, find the right partners. This already answers the earlier question from Karthik, because he was asking right at the start of the chat, so 30 minutes ago, is there English distribution for Applejack? And so the answer is not at this moment. I'm sure there will be an English language publisher, but Karthik, you are from Düsseldorf, you will be at Essen, I'm sure. Visit the booth, you can get the German language game, which is language independent, and then download the PDF from the website, and you have a fully playable English language copy. And Hans will be visiting you, so there you have to take a picture that Hans and you are two different persons, so that as a proof. Stefan will be there, and yeah, so very good. And I just put up the box cover, but there is also another picture you sent me. So I think this is a 3-player setup, right?
yes, that's true. So this is so everybody has their own personal board.
So this is this one here. Mm-hmm.
And when you take your apple tree tiles from the main board in the middle,
yeah,
then you just take it and place it on your personal orchard. And the game is actually of two different things are mixed. So the apple tree tiles, they have costs, and the costs are in the beehives. So you have to pay what's in the beehives to get the tile, but you can combine these beehives with other beehives from other tiles, and then you will get some of the honey that you spend to purchase the tile, you will get back, because if you make a connection of two numbers, you will get back the lower values. So for instance, if you combined a 9 and a 7, you paid maybe 9 for the tree tile, and for the combination you get the 7 back, because 7 is the lower number. So actually what you paid for the tile is 2 honey, which is the currency in this game. And this is the first thing, the first layer of the game, that when placing the tiles, you need to get back the honey that you spent for the tiles. And the other thing is that on the main board, you can see there's a die moving around the board, and when the die crosses a apple icon, then this kind of apple will be harvested by all players. So there's 7 different apples in the game, and you have to make big areas of one kind of apples. And this is very important, because when you harvest the apples, you get honey in return. So there's 2 layers to the game. First by placing the tiles, and then sorting the kinds of apples you have. It's not actually very complex. It's easy to understand, but it's hard to master, in my opinion. And that's a very good
combination. Yeah. Simple in rules, but difficult to play well. This is a great combination. And of course, the author Uwe is so experienced, so it will be a wonderful experience. I'm 100%
I
sure.
I actually have a copy of Applejack that arrived recently at my home, so I can show you
Please.
the first Applejack that arrived at my place. So yes.
So and I now will tell you all, if you stop at the Game Builders booth, which is 5K104, and you are getting a free drink from Ode. If you mention ConWorxx from last Saturday, of course. You have to mention ConWorxx and then you're getting an Applejack. Is this a deal, Ode?
We can do this.
So of course. And yeah, let's see. I'm 100% certain that this will be a great game for you, for the game builders. But I also think, knowing Torsten as well, that Torsten and you are a great fit, that this company will not only do Applejack, but also many more very successful games. And I'm 100% sure that the game will be picked up by other companies. And yeah, and of course we can mention the Essen price if you already would like to mention it. You don't have to. What will be the purchase price?
Yeah, the MSRP for the game will be due to so incredibly high production costs.
Yeah, it is what it is.
Will be 34.90 euros, and we will sell the game in Essen for a special price of 33 euros.
Yeah,
and we want to provide also an ePay option, which is something I think is very important right now, because I do not want to have too many cash on my booth, because we learned from recent years that there are some questionable characters moving amongst the people there. And so therefore we want to offer ePay in any form. So if you want to purchase the game, please bring your ePay option with you.
Okay, this is good to mention. I have an option here. I'm still not certain. So if I can make this work for Essenbad, I hear you. So having too much cash over there is difficult, especially at pretty small booth where you don't have a lot of personnel and have to do several things at the same time. A lot can happen. So I hear you. And I think looking at prices for paper, for cardboard, for wood, I think 32 euros is a great price for this wonderful game. So 33. Okay. 33 is still a wonderful price. And Stefan is saying, designer Stefan of Ostia Spiele is saying, good luck with your company. And of course, I will say the same thing. So,
thank you.
First, thank you to all viewers for taking your time. Then, thank you, Ode, for giving your insights into your games of this year, your most memorable gaming experiences, for letting us know a lot more about the game builders, a lot more about Applejack, and for everybody, again, Essen, Hall 5, booth K104, Applejack, 33 euros, ePay option, no excuses to not stop by. And if you mention ConWorxx, just in Ode's ears, ConWorxx, and there is an Applejack, all done. Thank you all very much. In about 15 minutes at 1 p.m. we are having Stefan Risthaus over here. I'm very excited to learn a little bit more about Gentes Epos, which is a future Spielworxx game. I will close the stream. You have to reconnect in 15 minutes. Sorry for this inconvenience, but till then, bye-bye, and thank you again.
Bye.
Bye-bye.